Hi, let's talk about the switch statement. So let's assume we have an if-else if statement, just this way. So let's create the functions that this will be in. So create the function and say function my fun, and we're going to put this in here, and here we're going to put val, and we'll use else if just there, and we'll say if val is equals to 2 or equivalent to 2, then answer, and we'll say else if, we'll say answer, and we'll say else answer. So we have this if else if statement to choose between numbers given the value of val. So if we take val, that means we call val outside here, and we say val, for instance, is 0, console dot log that out. At the end of the function, we just say return answer. That we are save, and now we have not 1, 2, or 3. So let's try 2, and now we have 2. Let's try 3, and now we have 3. And let's just try 1. Now we have 1. Let's try 4. Now we have not 1, 2, or 3. So this is the if else if statement that is working. So what if we want to use the switch statement to write this? So to write the switch statement, we just say switch dot way with the parenthesis, then you put the value which we're going to test, and then we're going to put all our statements in here. So we always compare with the case keyword. So we'll say case, you want to put the argument that will be tested with the parameter val. So case, so in case when we have the value of 1, then you put a colon, and then we'll say run this. So what we want when the value is exactly 1, we're going to put the answer there to be 1, just like that. Then we'll always remember to put the break so that it will stop at that point and it wouldn't continue iterating through all the values we give it. So we want to have the next one, case. The next one is 2. So what if the val is 2? So what we want is we make answer. So when we have a case of 3, we want the answer, and finally we have the default keyword we use here. That means if it's neither 1, 2, or 3, so what should we do? So we want the answer to be not 1, 2, or 3, just that way. Then we need to return answer. So this is how we should present that with the switch statement. So if I save, not 1, let's try 1 and save, and now we have 1. Let's change this to 3, and now we have 3. Let's make this 10, and now it says not 1, 2, or 3. So it's working. So that's how to write the switch statement. So let's do the task. So the first one says write a switch statement which tests val and sets answer for the following conditions. And it says 1 is alpha, 2 is beta, 3 is gamma, and 4 is delta. And we've been given this function which says case in switch with val. It says let answer be equals to, that's its answer has been initiated with an empty value, and it's been returned, that means return answer. And now it's testing case in switch function with the argument 1. So we need to put in the switch statement here such that when the argument is 1, we would have alpha, and when it's 2, beta, and the same with the other ones. So we'll simply write here the switch like that, and remember we'll need to put the val because that's what we are testing against, and we'll do that. Then we'll now write the case. So the first case is when we have 1. So when we have 1, what do we do? And let's see our second case, case 2, as with when the value is 2 or the argument is 2, our answer, and we put case 3. So when the value or the argument is 3, what should we have? We should have our answer. And now when the case is 4, and since we don't have any default value, we can just leave this this way, and the answer will be returned. So I'm going to log this out on the console.log. That way, and save. So case is 1, that will be alpha. If case is 2, that will be beta. If case is 3, that will be gamma. And if case is 4, that will be delta. So that's solved. So let's look at the second one. The second one says write a switch statement to set answer for the following conditions. And it said A is apple, B is bed, C is cat, and default is going to be stuff. So we've been given this function switch of stuff, val, do the same thing, switch, and we'll take this parameter in here, and then we're now going to create the cases for this. And finally, default case. So once that is done, we can now log out on the console, the results. So now we should be careful of this kind of error, because here it's saying that A is a variable and it has not been assigned. So it's telling us within this function we've not assigned A, but A in this case is not actually a variable. A is meant to be our string. Like in the previous example, we had number, which was 1 and the rest, and we represent numbers this way. But in this case, we're supposed to represent this as a string, not as a variable. So I'm going to make them into strings, and once I save that, now we have stuff. So 1 gave stuff. So let's see A, and now it says apple. So we want another string B, and it says bed. and C, and it says can't. But when we go to D or E, it's going to say stuff because it's the default. So that one has been solved. So the third one, it says write a switch statement to set answer for the following ranges. So right under here, what we'll do is we'll say switch, and then we're going to take the val, is the argument or the parameter, sorry, that we're going to be using, and we'll use our arguments on. So let's state the cases. So the first case we'll have is when we have the number 1, and now we want to write the next case, but we can see that 2 and 3 would also be low. So what we can do is to write them on the same grouping. So we just say case 2 and case 3 this way. So if case 1, case 2, or case 3 happens, then we run this. Else we'll continue with case 4. If any of these happens, then we'll say answer is equals to mid. Continue case 7. So in this case, we'll say answer should be equals to high. That way. And we can decide to break. Yeah. So that's it. So let's put this in the, let's log it out on the console. So when we have 1, says low, we'll put 2, says low, we'll put 3, says low, then we'll have we'll have 4, says mid, we'll have 5, mid, we'll have 6, mid, we'll have 7, high, we'll have 8, 8 is high, and 9 is high. And what if we have 10 here and nothing, because we didn't state a default? So this is how to use the switch statement, just to write the switch function, and we describe the cases and we return the answer that way.